I don't know if this is controversial, but am I crazy for thinking like Stephen King is a bit overrated at this point? Like we're getting a lot of Stephen King movies lately. A lot of them aren't great, and I feel like it is a good film. Carrie is a classic, but like
I have something to say about that. So
what?
Stephen King has often and famously throughout his whole career openly talked about how much he fucking hates 98% of the adaptations of his books. He's only
but are you aware? Are you aware of the one time he did try to direct one of his books as a movie?
Which one was that one?
I think it was Maximum Overdrive, and it's notoriously known as a terrible fucking.
He worked on the. I think it was he famously hated the original Shining, the Kubrick Shining, and
that might be the best one.
And he remade it. He remade it with someone else, and no one remembers it. I'm just trying to find it.
Oh, really? Yeah, I didn't actually. They must have like buried the shit out of it.
But it was a mini series. So it was a mini series, and he worked on it. And he screenplay. He did the screenplay on it.
I think.
And I don't think anyone remembers it at all.
I didn't even know about it. I knew he directed. I think it was the one about the cars. I think it was called Maximum Overdrive, and it's like notoriously like laughed at as a terrible movie. Because he was like finally, I'm gonna show you how to do it. You always get my books wrong, and then he made just a fucking god awful movie. And he never directed again.
He's not a director. He's a writer, and he's written some of the most incredible horrors of all time, and he's iconic for a reason. I think you just need to have the perfect storm of someone who's able to actually put into visuals his style of writing. Like if you ever did read like one of his books, I think you would go, okay, like I understand. They're not all perfect, but yeah.
I don't mean to talk trash on someone who I've never read a single book of his, but from what I understand, like, back in the day, he did a lot of drugs and he would write really fast.
That
like
does
he'd
not
often
surprise me at all.
He wrote.
There's a famous interview between him and George R.R. Martin where they interview each other, and he's known like Stephen King is known for writing really fast. Like he's putting out like a book a year or sometimes more.
6 pages a day.
Yeah, right.
How
and
many?
then
he writes 6 pages a day, which is fucking ridiculous. As someone who's written a book, that's ridiculous.
But it's also like, is he rewriting? Like, is there a revision process? That's what I'm curious. And George R.R. Martin, it takes him like 6 years to write a book. And I think the first question George R.R. Martin asked Steve King is like, how do you do it? Like, how do you write so fast? And I think that's the difference, though. It's like, I think with Stephen King, like maybe he's a naturally talented storyteller, so he can get away with writing 6 pages a day. But doesn't mean every concept's going to be hit and miss. So I feel like for every amazing idea, there's like 5... Like, oh no, the car's alive. It's going to kill me. That's scary.
He famously wrote Cujo, the novel Cujo, while on drugs, and then he later read the book and said it to someone. This is actually pretty good.
Good for him. Good for him.
Oh man.
I don't know how 100% that's true. I've just heard that he wrote the entirety of Cujo while he was on drugs and remembers nothing about writing it. And then he read it later and thought it was pretty good. So,
oh my god.
Well, it was probably like the 70s or 80s, right? Like everybody was on drugs, including the publisher, including the editor, including the people who probably drew the cover, so